All right, welcome back to WMMA now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a fight preview. So we're going to UFC Las Vegas Fight Night, Blades versus Volkov. We're going to the strawweight division. Tecia Tiny Tornado Torres taking on Brianna the Bull Van Buren. So let's take a look at how these two match up statistically. Torres coming in 10-5, Van Buren coming in 9-2. Torres on a losing streak. First losing streak of her career, and it's been a bit of a long one here. Van Buren coming in, nice long win streak. Torres is the older fighter, 30 years to Van Buren's 26 years. Torres, 1 inch taller, 5 feet 1 inch, 155 centimeters to Van Buren's 5 foot even, 152 centimeters. However, the reach is reversed. Van Buren has a 62 inch, 157 centimeter reach, whereas Torres has a 61-inch, 155-centimeter reach. So, breaking down how these two fight, I watched the last several fights for Van Buren. It was easy to watch, I think, all 5 of her fights just in the last couple of hours. Both of these fighters have been off for a while, 10 months for Torres, 11 months for Van Buren. Both of them have had a lot of time to, work on some things, make some corrections, but also potential ring rust is there. It's an interesting physical comparison as well. Both are short, both are stout. I'd say Van Buren is even more stout. She's a little more bottom heavy, I guess you can say. She's has a good base, be a good way to put it. First time for Torres to actually fight someone shorter than her, even if it's just an inch. First time in Torres' career she's fighting someone shorter than her. She's used to fighting taller opponents. But at the same token, so is Van Buren. I would say that Van Buren is definitely the more explosive fighter. She's very strong and explosive, strong takedowns. And the wrestling advantage is definitely going to go to Van Buren. She's a very strong positional wrestler. However, the striking advantage, I got to give to Torres. She has a more diverse arsenal. She's smoother on the feet. She's not throwing everything to hurt the opponent. She knows when to throw with more power. Not that she has much power, but she knows when to throw to hurt. She knows when to throw to score points. As far as a game plan goes, Van Buren's is easy to predict. Watching her last, four fights this morning, she does the same thing every time. She's going to back her opponents up with her strikes, get them near to the cage, and shoot for the takedown. It's an easy game plan to predict, but it's hard to stop. Torres is going to need to use a lot of lateral movement to work around that. And also, she'd be very smart to do her best to stay on the inside section of the cage. Put Van Buren on the outside. When I was watching Van Buren's fight with, what's her name? Kylan Curran, for the first, several exchanges, Curran was on the inside of the cage. She was on the inside of that black line and had Van Buren on the outside. Van Buren's not used to that. So that's the type of thing that Torres is going to have to come in and do. Keep Van Buren on the outside of the cage. Now for some X factors going into this fight. Torres' decline seems largely related to her leaving American top team in Florida and moving to Colorado. Now we all know the reason why. Her girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever, Raquel Pennington is out there. So she moved to be out there with her. But since then, she hasn't been looking as good. I mean, her last win was against Michelle Watterson 2.5 years ago. Ever since then, she's been on decline. Granted, she's also been facing a murderer's row of opponents. Another X factor is the experience level. Yes, Torres has been losing lately, but look at who she's been losing to. Top contender Marina Rodriguez, Weili Zhang, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Jessica Andrade. A straight up murderer's row. I mean, she's only been facing top-level opponents for the past several years. Whereas you look at Van Buren's level of opponents, and it's largely been fighters who, you got Juliana Lima, got cut from the UFC. Kylan Curran got cut from the UFC with a losing record. And then you have Livia Hinata Souza, who hasn't really beaten anyone of the UFC caliber either. So Torres' losses have all been coming to fighters who are far stronger than any opponent that Van Buren has beaten. And Torres' wins are against fighters that are stronger than anyone Van Buren's beaten. So that experience level is really going to favor Torres. Also, as strong as Van Buren's takedowns are, Torres does have underrated takedown defense. I think Weili Zhang got like only 2 of 6 takedowns against Torres in their fight. So her takedown defense is pretty underrated. And Andrade couldn't really keep her down either with her takedowns. And then a final X factor I have is that Torres' girlfriend, wife, Raquel Pennington, is fighting later that same night, which means the coaching is going to be split between them. I'm not sure what the exact lineup is. I know there are at least several fights apart, which is good. But on that note, Torres, she's going to be thinking about Pennington fighting later. Pennington's going to be thinking about Torres fighting earlier. That could really mess with them mentally. Comes down to it, my prediction is going to be Brianna Van Buren by decision. I'm making this not so much based on her skills. She does have some good skills. She is a very skilled fighter. And it's not so much based on Van Buren's skills improvement, but a lot of it's on Torres' decline. I feel like this was a good matchmaking for Van Buren in that Torres is going to be the easiest matchup available for Van Buren to break into the rankings. The other fighters that aren't scheduled right now are big and they have good takedown defense. So this is, matchmaking-wise, very advantageous towards Brianna Van Buren. So I'm going with Van Buren mostly on Torres' decline. I think Van Buren's a good fighter. I think she has a lot of potential. But I also think she's being set up for success here by the matchmakers. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the fight. Let me know yours in the comments down below. I'm very much looking forward to this fight. Like I said, I'm picking Van Buren, but I've been a Tiny Tornado fan since day one, so cheering for Torres. Let me know your thoughts on the fight in the comments down below. Of course, likes are always appreciated. And hey, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.